You look at it from an economic standpoint, you look at it from a foreign policy standpoint, you look at it from dealing with our border crisis, and it is one extreme liberal progressive policy after the next. And I think that's ultimately what voters are going to make their decision on. It's not the personalities. It really will come down to the cost of living. It'll come down to the crisis at our southern border, and it will come down to the failed policies on the global stage, which have weakened America's standing in the world and allowed Russia, China, and Iran to rise.
The FBI has confirmed that Iran was behind a hack on the Trump campaign. Now, that comes as the House Intelligence Chair, Mike Turner, says Iran could have nuclear weapons by the end of the year. Congressman, what are you going to do about this?
Look, this is a result of the feckless policies of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. When they took office, they tried to appease Iran. They tried to renegotiate the Iran nuclear deal. They lifted secondary sanctions on the purchasers of Iranian petroleum. It's why China was able to purchase Iranian petroleum again, increasing Iranian petroleum sales by $100 billion. These are the funds that are being used to fund Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and the Iran nuclear program. And so the United States needs to take a hard line tactic here and make it very clear that we will not tolerate a nuclear Iran.
But they won't.
And we have to be willing to strike.
Do you believe that this administration, whether it's run by Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, do you believe that they will take a hard line on Iran, ever?
No, Stuart, that's the problem. That's why we're in this mess. When you look at what they've allowed to happen, China was on their heels under the Trump administration. President Trump made it very clear if they purchased Iranian petroleum, he would implement 100% tariffs on trade with China. Iran was broke. They had no money. They couldn't fund terrorism, and they couldn't fund their nuclear program. So it is critical that's why I fought to get the SHIP Act and the Iran-China Energy Sanctions Act, my two bills, included in the supplemental aid package. They have both become law. This administration has refused to enforce them thus far, even though they were passed and signed into law. This is part of the problem. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are extremely weak when it comes to Iran. We need to take a much harder line tactic. We need to support Israel. When you see Hamas refusing to come to a ceasefire agreement, and yet, Democrats continue to target Israel. They continue to attack Israel and say that it's Israel's fault that there's not a ceasefire. Hamas once again rejects the terms of a ceasefire and continues to hold Americans hostage. It's outrageous.
Indeed. Congressman, thanks very much for joining us today. Always appreciated, sir. Thank you.